Did the Silent Hill transmission calm my fears about the remake and the movie? Well, for the game, somewhat, and for the movie, no, not at all. Not in terms of the story, but I do think it'll have some interesting visual moments. Let's start with what I liked. The remake looks really good graphically and artistically. It feels like Silent Hill, the hospital interior looks nice. I like the new feature of breaking car windows to find supplies. I don't mind James too much, and I like Laura's new face. I thought Laura's voice acting was alright, and James sounds okay, but he's too subdued. He's missing that friendly tone in his voice from the original. The combat did not offend me. It looks kinda clunky, which is honestly what I want. I don't want to feel like a powerful badass. We'll see how I feel about the whole precision shot stun setup thing when I play it. I do worry it'll be too actiony, but if resources are low, that'll solve the problem. I like the introduction of the nurses, that the first one walks right by you, and the dark hallway spotlighting the other nurse is really nice. That's basically the end of the good stuff because, I mean, how many other things can I comment on? We just saw someone walking around for 15 minutes, a little combat, and some dialogue. I do like some of the sound effects. The lying figure has the same sounds from the original game. I love that. But the item pickup sound is nowhere near as cool as the original. It looks like we're getting some mixed up scenarios in this remake too. James finds the radio in a different place, so it'll be interesting to see what new routes and areas we see. I'm open to that kind of new direction. What was the bad stuff? Well, like I said, some of the dialogue lacks that real character from the original. But what's with this awful reverb the voices are soaked in? It's like they're in a church or something. It sounds really weird.
Why do you keep running away from me? And how do you know about Mary?
Mary's my friend.
Sorry, I was just...
It's okay, I didn't mean to scare you.
Sorry, I was just...
It's okay, I didn't mean to scare you.
And I'm not a fan of how Maria and Angela look. I think a lot of people are in agreement that Angela's face doesn't look right, but maybe that's just because we're used to how she's always looked. I don't mind that she looks different. She looks younger, but she's supposed to be 19, so that's fine, and I don't care that she's kinda chubby in the face. It's just something about the entire character model with the face feels off. I can't put my finger on it. But really, I don't care that Angela is quote-unquote less attractive now, because her beauty was never part of the appeal of the character. She's a traumatized abuse victim, and I don't think her beauty makes much of a difference. Honestly, I always thought she had kind of a turtle face anyway, so whatever. I guess it's just off-putting because this doesn't appear to be some bold reimagining of Silent Hill 2, it's a straight-up remake, so people expect characters to be faithfully remade, in personality and look, and Angela's appearance doesn't meet the mark. The real change I dislike is Maria's outfit. Maria had the most iconic look of the original games, famously based on Christina Aguilera. Her outfit and manner just oozed confidence, playfulness, and sexuality. Now, we haven't seen Maria in the cutscenes, so we don't know if she's gonna act the way she should be acting. It just goes against what her character is supposed to represent, which is a version of Mary that James wished he could have. I hope we don't have another Resident Evil 3 remake Jill Valentine situation on our hands. This is a much worse change than Angela having a chubby face. This here is an example of a character whose hotness directly ties to their character and their role in the story. She looks like a well-off mother who dressed up to go shopping in a high-end grocery store or something, and I'm very worried that they've misunderstood what Maria is.
I look like Mary, don't I? You loved her, right? Or maybe you hated her.
Maria is overtly sexual, flirtatious. She's supposed to have this really eye-attracting look, showing off her stomach, teasing James. She looks so normal here. Every character gets to preserve their original look, Angela, Laura, James, Pyramid Head. But Maria? Cover up that midriff, girl. What do you think this is, an M-rated game with sexual themes? Now, there's a theory out there that this version of Maria will start off dressed like this, and as the game goes on, her personality will be corrupted and her appearance will change. If that's the case, okay, we'll see how that plays out. I'm not going to say I hate the idea immediately. It is still early on in the story, we're not seeing her dressed like this near the end of the game, so maybe. If it turns out to be true and my grievances here make me look like an ass, I'll take the L. But this is all we have to go on, and I'm hoping to God we're wrong on this one. So yeah, that's concerning, and it's always incredibly off-putting that they market this ultra-serious, dark, depressing game with cutesy toys and parody items that completely trivialize the source material. I'm not saying you can't buy and love this stuff, but it should not be a part of the marketing for the game itself. What is Konami doing? This is all on Konami, the company that turned Silent Hill into pachinko machines. Oh, and in true scumbag fashion, we're being charged extra to get the game 2 days early, which is total crap. They're calling it early access, but that is not what early access means. This isn't a period to get player feedback and make improvements on a game in development. This is a finished product, and they're trying to squeeze a little more money out of us however they can. How much you want to bet Mary's original costume is going to be paid DLC? I will not be paying to get the game 2 days early, screw that. My YouTube review will be late, oh well. People have complained about the HUD, that there's an ammo counter on screen when aiming, that prompts come up when you pick up new documents and items. I don't particularly care about that, but I would totally support an option to turn it off. What bugs me more is the interaction prompts that pop up at a distance saying, "Hey, you, come over here and press the interact button." That, to me, hurts the experience of immersion. The original games never needed this, and you know why? Good art direction that made interactable objects easy to identify, and good camera direction that drew your attention to something and made you curious to inspect it. Can you imagine this moment right here with a circle floating above it telling you to come press X? Oh god. And why does Silent Hill 2 Remake have these interaction prompts? Because it's over-the-shoulder camera. They just had to make it play like every other game in existence instead of letting Silent Hill have a unique presentation for its camera. See my video on Silent Hill camera direction here. So because they're not able to guide your vision anymore, they gotta put icons everywhere to tell you what to look at and what to pick up. Listen to this woman right here. I guarantee you Bloober Team did not want to make this over-the-shoulder camera. She knows what's up.
So when making a game with static cameras, you as a designer have much more control over what players sees, where they go, and so on. The change for the third-person perspective was a challenge. That being said, it's a chance for us to expand this world, to show the players new elements that were previously inaccessible, and just make this game richer.
I bet Konami mandated this game play just like the Resident Evil remakes, the scumbags. Looking at Bloober's work in the medium, I bet they were excited to do this camera style for the remake, and Konami said no, it must be like Resident Evil. So yeah, there's a lot to pick apart in this trailer and the gameplay presentation. There are some things that I like. I'm still looking forward to playing it as a survival horror game. It might still have good puzzles and gameplay and exploration, but I'm still not sold on the idea that this is going to be a good Silent Hill 2 remake. Now let's talk about the movie. I'm on record as saying I have no hope for it. I don't trust Christoph Gans at all with the story of Silent Hill 2 after he mangled the story of the first game. But here we have the first footage, and I gotta say, visually, I like it. I was surprised to see him actually recreating the opening mirror shot. And then they showed the parking lot from the game, and I said, no, there's no way they're actually gonna make that shot too. And sure enough, they got it. It's kind of amazing. I mean, this is about as close as you can get without CGing the whole thing. This seems like a real place, or some elaborate set, I don't know. But man, if they're putting that kind of effort into it, I'm interested in this movie purely on a fanboy level, which is how I used to be able to enjoy the original film. But what the hell is going on with that car? Why is he driving this sports car? It was not like that in the original game. It's not going to be like that in the remake. Was it necessary to upgrade his wheels? Is he gonna be some kind of douchebag now or what? I mean, he certainly looks like a douchebag. 2 long necklaces and a vest under his jacket? What the hell is that? And is that makeup on his eyes? Did he just come from the nightclub or what? This guy does not look the part. Maria, on the other hand, hey, she's wearing something close to the original outfit, which is fun to see. I'm glad that Christoph Gans is continuing to use a lot of cool camera techniques, which was one of the good things about the original film. Gans is good with that. Here's Angela laying beside the mirror. We see Angela's room here, which looks like it's a big practical effects set, which will be enhanced digitally later. Like, they're really making this. It's kinda cool. So we have James walking through the woods in the beginning of the game. We have the bottom floor of the apartment buildings. Man, there's a lot that I like about this. But Gans is gonna fuck up the story somehow, I just know it.
Christoph is really faithful and respectful to Silent Hill.
No, he most certainly is not. Changing Alessa into a vengeful person making a deal with the devil to torture a cult that burned her for being a bastard child is not respecting Silent Hill. It's using the Silent Hill property to tell your own story for your own political agenda, which I've talked about before on this channel. Last thing I'll say is I love the way this chick is playing the mannequin monster. That delayed raising of the upper legs looks great. I hope it looks good in costume. So that's it. I'm looking forward to both of these projects in a way. For the movie, I'm hoping for nostalgia, fan service, and crossing my fingers that the story isn't unrecognizable like it was in the first movie. And for the remake, I'm keeping my expectations low. I'm not going in ready to hate it. At the minimum, I hope for a good survival horror experience. And if the narrative holds up, I'll be extra happy. Goodbye!